This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Rachel Fife.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Now, if you are looking to buy or sell an apartment building here in Orange County, well, help is on the way. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Christian Espinoza, with Greysteel. Christian, how is it going?
It is going very, very good. I'm glad to be on here. Thank you for having me and looking forward to providing a little bit of background on myself.
Awesome. Well, with that said, we're excited to learn about you and your experience in real estate and with Greysteel. So tell us about the company and you.
Yeah, so the company is hyper specialized in commercial buildings. I myself have been in the industry for 7 years and have been selling apartment buildings since. So we are, again, very specialized when it comes to commercial properties, investment properties, representing buyers and sellers of real estate, investment real estate, more particularly.
Wonderful. Well, how did you kind of get into this business?
Yeah, so my journey was very unique in comparison to most in this business. I don't have a family background when it comes to commercial real estate or too much on the investment side, but most of my family do run their own businesses, have very high level business acumen, and really the journey started since I was a little kid. I knew at a very young age that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and specific field that I wanted to get into, but I just wanted to be in business. I knew it was something that I was meant to do and something that, I would probably be very good at. So, through my journey and, the ups and downs, like many people have, it kind of led me into this industry. And it's something that, one, with business, I wanted to really reach my full potential and maybe even have an opportunity to exceed it. And I knew this business was going to be very tough, but it was going to get the best out of me, but ultimately provide me a life where I could really not just myself benefit, but ultimately my future generations and my current family with all the work and all the sacrifices that they made. That this business is very fruitful, but it's very tough. So I'm very much battle tested, and it has done very well for me and my family thus far. So, really, it's really the beginning of why I wanted to be in business, but ultimately led to commercial real estate.
Wonderful. Well, what are maybe some myths or misconceptions in your industry?
That there's freedom. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions, that that you set your own schedules, that you kind of are in and out of the office. And, generally, I guess that's the best word. It really is freedom. If you want to be at the pinnacle of your career, especially in this business, you really have to put a lot into it. There's a lot of sacrifices that need to be made within family and within your own time in order for you to be the best of the best and get to that point. So you really need to spend a lot of time with this. In addition to, I really relate this industry and the mechanics in order for you to get to that level is, very similar to professional sports. It's a constant grind. It's a constant training. It's always seeking out improvement, but also being part of just the ever-changing business. You have to be a hyper specialist. You have to be an expert, and you have to always be available. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions of this business is your schedule is definitely based off what you're doing and ultimately how good you want to be at this career. And if anything, to be the best, you really have to put your all into it. And it's an investment of time, and it's a sacrifice of time as well.
Well, we know marketing is really at the heart of every business. So how are you finding clients?
It's very old school in my approach. I use the phone as a ways to get in front of owners ultimately. So definitely make a good amount of calls and use the phone as a tool to get in front of to get in front of people. So a lot of meetings as well. And yeah, I mean, generally there's no other way to it. I mean, you could do the social media type marketing, referrals are a big part of our business as well, word of mouth. But generally, it's really the old school approach is picking up the phone and making calls in order for you to get in front of owners.
Have you ever thought of doing your own podcast?
I have, and there's many people that have told me that I should eventually, but I guess it's going back to the one of the original questions, where is my time better spent? I want to make sure that I become the best, and I actually have a platform to create my own podcast and start my journey like that. So I do have visions within my career, and eventually when I'm fully retired, is to do public speaking, to eventually be, probably do a podcast as well. But I definitely want to make the podcast a little bit different than most people in the industry. I know a lot of people in the industry focus on real estate, but I am a plethora of knowledge, and I have other interests besides business. So I want to incorporate sports. I want to incorporate, family life. I'm very big in my faith as well. So incorporating that, and having individuals that want to get on, obviously speak business because that's the industry that I'm in, but have fun with it.
Wonderful. Well, outside of work, what do you like to do for fun?
Yeah, I mean, definitely spend my time with friends and family. I mean, that's first and foremost. Also, I'm very big with sports. So I go to a lot of sports games throughout the year and watch sports, but generally with how hectic my daily schedule is, I like to keep myself very low key, on the weekends or just outside of the business, for the same sacrifices and time that it takes to do what we do in this business is the same time that I want to spend with my family, because they're the reason why I do it. So I don't do anything crazy generally. I really value quiet and just value quality time with my family ultimately.
Well, Christian, please tell our listeners one thing they should remember about Greysteel and your work with them.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's just the hyper focus that we have in our industry and our respective product types, in addition to the full service nature that we apply to our businesses and our clients to ensure that there's no holes in what we do for them. Service is everything. I mean, we're a service-based industry, but we generally have a very relentless approach in the way we serve and the way we represent our clients to make sure that we can accomplish the assignment that they entrusted us with, but ultimately for them to continue coming back. So, that's very important to us, and making sure that the investment is not just with our clients, but the company really investment in myself and the professionals to make sure that we could adhere to everything that we actually say verbally to our clients, and how we're going to represent them and the kind of value that we add, that we also have a company that's going to reciprocate that back to the professionals as well. So very, very high level on all fronts.
Wonderful. Well, how can our listeners learn more about Christian Espinoza with Greysteel?
Sure. I mean, generally a phone call. I'm always willing to get on a phone call. I could provide my contact information. I do have a LinkedIn if you want to reach out through there, but I'm very, very old school when it comes to communication. I like meeting individuals as well, providing any wisdom that I could provide. My experience that goes way beyond business, that could definitely coincide with what people are going through, and ultimately if they even want to get into the business. So yeah, I could provide my contact information, but you can find me on LinkedIn, and yeah.
Perfect. Well, Christian, I really appreciate you being on the show, and we wish you and your business, the very best moving forward.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Rachel. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnporangecounty.com. That's gnporangecounty.com, or call 714-941-8862.
Okay.